and the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and it is Sunday, and you know what that means. It's time for weekly purchases, that time of the week where we investigate what came through the door via DHL, Amazon, UPS, United States Postal Service, FedEx, and of course, that old outlaw, Waylon Jennings. It is the weekly purchases brought to you by our friends over there at Jay's Toys and Games. Head over there, use code Kyle, save yourself 15%. You're going to see some big stuff from Jay's this week, playing all the hits in the weekly purchases. We also got the question of the week with my wife, Angie. She's going to be in here. And in a plot twist, Todd, we already filmed that segment based on her schedule, of course. So we're doing this out of order as usual. But in this week's episode, stay tuned for it here. You can find out all the gory details of how my wife, Angie, and I met. And it may surprise you. May surprise you, or maybe it won't. I don't know. We'll see what happens there. But a lot going on this week. As I said, Jay's got to thank them, but we also got to head over to Patreon. Of course, Patreon, your best way to support this YouTube channel and all the content it does bring. Plenty of stuff going on the Patreon each and every single day. This month's giveaway figure, Professor Pig. Yes, Professor Pig, Platinum Edition, a favorite from the McFarlane line for me. You can get that, of course, over there at Patreon if you win the giveaway. But a lot of stuff to keep you busy. Early access to all the videos from both channels. Early access to the podcast. My latest podcast is up there. That'll be up next Tuesday. We got Q&As. We got all kinds of stuff. And Todd, speaking of Q&As, last night, Angie, straight from the pool. Once again, people always getting up in arms. People leaving nasty comments. Come on, what are we doing? Saying this place is for children over here, even though in my analytics, no kids like to watch this channel. I don't know what's going on. Come on, kids, watch this channel, but maybe not. Maybe I wouldn't. I don't know, but a lot of people up in arms. But Angie, straight from the pool. Go to your local pool. You can see the same thing, and worse, maybe better. Who knows? Who knows? But shout out to Angie. We did a little Q&A action there, playing all the hits, some may say. And as I'm filming this on Saturday night, I was in the beautiful Quad Cities. Who we fooling? Quad Cities not so beautiful, as we do know. But Davenport, Iowa, hosting Joe Bob Briggs, Bubba Hotep. Headed over to the Bubba Hotep show there. I went to Marty Stewart this week. You can see some of that, some of the He-Man footage in my weekly toy hunt. A little bit of toy hunt, a lot of other stuff in this week's. Even a little bit of graduation. And one of the craziest stories I have ever seen or witnessed was from a 5th grade graduation. I'll save it. It's in the podcast next week. My mind's still blown about that. So check that out if you want. So a lot going on, as you can imagine, around these parts. And that's all I got for housekeeping here. But it's time to bring in my wife, Angie. It's time for the question of the week. All right, it's time for question of the week. And it means only one thing. We got the mail girl. We got Angie. Angie, say hello.
Hello, your shirt's so cute.
It is. You like my Marty Stewart shirt?
Yes.
Now, where do you think I got this from?
At his concert the other night.
You were there. You held it for part of the night. That's for sure. But
I keep it safe.
You did. We went to Marty Stewart. We saw a storm. We did all kinds of fun stuff. There was a storm that night. Remember? Yeah, it was crazy.
I know. I lost you, and I'm like, "What are you doing?" You like filming the storm?
I was filming and you could see that in the fig hunt. Quite the fig hunt video, and a lot of Angie in the fig hunt. Some people love it. Some people love a lot of Angie. Some people hate a lot of Angie.
I hate it.
Angie hates it. She's being forced by gunpoint right here. But Angie was there. We went to the He-Man movie in that figure hunt.
We've done so many things for you. That's crazy.
For me. Come on. You're Marty like, we got to see opening night.
He-Man, and then tomorrow we're going to Joe. What's this?
Joe Bob's, which is already over by the time people are watching this.
Joe Bob.
But we are going to all that for you. You said we got to go to He-Man night one. I said, I just don't know about Marty Stewart. I want to go, but nobody else said, no, we got to go, is what you said. You said. And I said, all right, I was planning on passing, and then you ended up going, so we went. And Joe Bob, you said, I want to drive 3 hours there, 3 hours back, and go see a showing of Bubba Hotep, one of the all-time greatest movies. And in a plot twist, Angie has never seen Bubba Hotep, but by the time you're watching this, she has seen Bubba Hotep.
Wow.
And how was it?
Amazing.
It was amazing. Exactly. I think it'll change your life. It changed mine back in like 2004 or something like that.
I just feel bad. I know I'm going to have to sleep the whole way home. So I hope you don't struggle. You're gonna have to get a monster on the road.
That's not all I'm gonna need on the road. We'll see how awake you are.
I've been known to do that a time or two.
Yeah. I was like, Angie, please. But we'll be rolling down the road. We'll go see Joe Bob. We'll see what's going on with that. It'll be a gay old time.
It won't be gay at all.
No, it'll be opposite, I guess. But hopefully, Angie, last night, of course, on this, if people are watching these in order that aren't Patreon members and stuff, the Angie Q&A straight from the pool last night. So we'll see how that goes over. Maybe some new viewers off of that. I don't know. But it's funny, though. There is people that say, oh, you use that for likes and stuff like that. And they say, that's the best performing. Even our own daughter, Emma, guilty in one of the videos, figure hunt saying, just the videos with mom do the best. That is not true. That is not true. The Beavis and Butthead video is like at 50,000 views or something like that.
I mean, my DTOF video has more.
Not for long. And it doesn't have more than me touring my collection. So you say what you want. People come for me at the end of the day. People come for me, Angie, not you. And I come for you every once in a while.
Yeah, I was just gonna say you do. I don't always, but it's fine.
No, never. But it's about me.
I'm not resentful.
It's all about me. It's about me and Marty. But Angie, we got a lot going on, and we got a lot going on tonight as I'm filming a bunch of videos because we're going to be gone for that, and there's so much going on. Have you ever heard of a work-life balance? I haven't, and one of these days I'll get there. One of these days. All right, now where were we? What are we here for? What are we doing?
I need some vitamin D.
Is that what we're calling it these days? Is that what you're calling it? Well, I got to finish these videos and then we'll talk. But Angie, it is time for the question of the week. And as usual, you want to be the question of the week, you put it in the comments of this video and you too can be the question of the week. And you got two chances. We do take one question over on the podcast, the Angie Peterson Show, every single Tuesday, wherever podcasts are found, video cast, of course, over there on YouTube. But Angie, it's time to knock out this question. What is the question of the week?
Oh, I gotta psych myself up.
She's on one. She's on one.
All right. Rick Wyman 2906. How did you and your wife Angie meet? And did she accept you and your collecting G.I. Joes and other collection?
She accepted it all except for the G.I. Joe. She said, get these out of here. What are these army men?
We met at a bar.
And it wasn't just any old bar. It was a dance club. She was working it like
he was just at the bar like this, just watching me.
I was
giving him one of the
I was one step further. I had a little Jack and Coke. I drank Jack and Coke back in that day. And this was a dance club with full on like dance music of like
they had like a DJ.
Yeah,
famous DJs used to like come in there. Like
this is a place that I would not usually be at. So I guess as they say, weird. Everything happens for a reason in life. But this isn't me and that old outlaw Waylon Jennings, we have the same kind of bars. We like those dive bars and stuff and some of that. I'm sitting there and I think one of my buddies wanted to go, or I don't know why, but like if you're in any town, there's a bunch of bars. Let's just go to this one for a while. Let's go to this one. But this one, you felt like you were stuck to be there because it was like a $10 cover or $5 cover. So it's like, I'm not going to do the walk in, take one drink and leave. You got to like stay for a while. And these kind of clubs always have hot chicks dancing and doing that kind of stuff, which is always nice, but it's like...
And it was the weekend after Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So it's like...
Yeah, it was
a lot of random people in there that like normally wouldn't have been.
A lot of people traveling in. It was, so Thanksgiving Thursday, this was probably a Saturday night, if I remember correctly. So you were partying with
it wasn't even a Friday night.
Friday, Saturday.
Then we went on a date the next night, so that would have been
It would have been Friday night. So it was a fine Friday night in November.
We literally went on a date. Next day went on a date, and then like we moved in together, and we've been together ever since.
Yeah. There it is.
We're crazy.
And I said at the time, I could really use a roommate. Times were tough. Plot twist, at one time, Angie, you kind of supported me. You made more money than I did for a while. That was an amazing time.
Now you're ready for me to do that again.
I am ready. I am ready for Angie to step up and change that.
Except I gave up my career. What am I supposed to do?
Go back.
Start from the bottom.
There's plenty of places for a good old gal like you to go to. It's time for me to just...
associate's degree.
It's time... It's time for, I think we have like almost 60,000 subscribers on this channel now. If every subscriber gave me $1 a year, I'll quit. I'll quit my job today.
I will a year.
That's 60.
All they would have to do is subscribe to your Patreon, and then you could retire.
Or everyone just gives me $1. You can give me 100 pennies if you want to. That'd be 60. No, that'd be $60,000. Yeah, 60,000 subscribers, $1 each. I had to do the math. I can tell you, I'm a math genius. $60,000. I'll quit my job and just imagine the content I'll get to if somebody gives me that. I'm willing to take a pay cut back in life. I'm willing to take a step back. I think for mental health clarity, I need to do that. So I just get $1 from everybody. So we pass the hat around.
Yep.
Yeah, it is what it is. But Where were we going? Oh yeah,
I
we
don't
were
know.
we were at the dance club there it was a beautiful Friday night, and I was sitting there with my Jack and Coke because that's all I drink. I've never been a beer guy really, so I'm drinking the Jack and Coke. Angie was doing moves on the dance floor. Were you dancing with your girlfriends?
I'm weird. I don't even need to drink to have fun, but if I do drink, I go way over the edge.
Oh, man, yeah, exactly.
Like I'm like getting behind the bar, pouring shots. Like you can't take me anywhere.
We learned about that in the podcast a couple weeks ago. We told that story.
I literally like lined all these people up and was like pouring.
Yeah, just going behind the bar, then we get thrown out of the bar, and then I ended up getting in a fight with my buddy, grabbing him by the shirt, throwing him up against the wall. It was a whole thing. And then I think that might have been the same night I threw the bar stool out of the bar, got thrown out of that bar. It's a wild night. It was a bad times back in the day. Good times though. Good times and bad times maybe. Good times, bad times. We should write a song like that. Angie's even crying about it.
Oh my god, Kyle hates smoking too, and every once in a while I'd be like just smoking out of nowhere because I was drunk. He'd be like, "Ew."
Yeah.
We don't do that anymore.
No, yeah. I'd be like, what are you doing? I'd pull that out, throw that out there. I was like the Vince McMahon of smoking. If
I smell a cigarette, I want to puke.
Yeah, it was wild.
Give me a headache.
But yeah, I'm sitting there and this is like a dance club and they'd have like leather chairs in there, like these fancy leather. And I'm just sitting there talking to my buddy and I'm just like drinking this. One of my buddies like checking you out, like, look at her over there and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, oh yeah, it looks good and all that. And then the next thing you know, Angie's doing one of these and I'm just like, me? But honestly, not shocked. Did you see young KP back then? I was quite the looker.
So cute.
Quite the looker once upon a time. I had that short hair and of course I was just playing the game, you know. I was just living my life, of course. And Angie saw that. She rolled me in. And the next thing you know,
I hate the game.
Next thing you know, just love at first sight in more ways than one. And never surrendered, never gone. We're like a modern day Linda and Paul McCartney, except Linda died in the 90s. So hopefully you don't. I don't know. We were going to have to take bets on that. Who's going to go first?
How long had they been together before she died?
Yeah, it was like 30 some years.
Oh,
and
God.
they only had one night away from each other. When that was when Paul was in jail in Japan. But unfortunately, we can't say that because I've had a lot of business trips for a couple of nights, a week at a time. So we can't play that up there. But truly love at first sight. A place I would never go to, and then just happened to see her, and then Angie saw me, and then next thing you knew, I remember you didn't have a cell phone at the time. That was a time where I had just newly gotten a cell phone. It's like I refused the cell phone life. I said, I don't want people getting a hold of me at a moment's notice. I like to be away. I don't want people to get a hold of me. And now my nightmare is true where I can't get off my phone. I always have to have it by me because I have calls 24/7. But I remember you didn't have a phone. I'm like, you don't have a phone.
I was like a drifter, like not a drifter, but like I had just moved, and so I like didn't have a situation.
You were floating around. You were couch surfing a little bit, doing that kind of stuff, staying at your friends. And I remember we didn't have a piece of paper or anything, and I gave you something extremely special to me. Do you remember what this was?
A picture of the old lady.
I had this little like
no relation.
No, I remember it was like a little billfold card you would put that looked like a little like picture you get from like JCPenney's or something, and it was an old grandma. And I used to have that the first thing in my wallet.
We still have it.
Yeah, we still have it. And I said, I am giving you this. You don't understand what this picture means to me. Because what I used to do back in the day when I was, perusing the town, going to these bars and stuff, you'd whip out your thing and a chick you're with or whatever, hanging out with, they would see the first thing on there is this old, he's so sweet, his grandma. Oh my gosh, he's a good old boy. And I'm not a good old boy. I'm a little bit of outlaw.
That's how you got him in the pants.
And then Angie, I said, I'm going to give you this, and I better see you again because of this whole thing. And then I did forget the other thing. We first started talking, and you just casually mentioned, not knowing, I didn't look like this with long hair. I had short hair. Everybody always thought I was a frat boy. Everybody's like, oh, Kyle's a frat boy. But then once they knew me, like, oh, he's not quite the frat boy. But I'll never forget you just bringing up, well, last night I was at the Slayer concert, and I'm like, you said, what? You were at what?
Not last night.
I don't know, but like the week before or something like that.
We were talking about music or something.
Yeah, and
that
like
was the last concert I've been to.
And she just casually dropped Slayer, and I don't have a heavy metal shirt on. I don't know what I was wearing. I don't even know.
But had like a collared type shirt on.
Probably. I was just, I had cologne.
God, this guy was preppy. I was trying to scare you.
Didn't work. I said, Slayer, what?
Rain and blood.
Crazy love at first sight right there. So that was a wild time. So
then you were like testing me. You're like, what's the, and I was like naming the people off.
Yeah, it was a wild thing. I couldn't believe what I was getting myself into. And I remember desperately saying, I need to see you tomorrow. I need this. I'm giving you this. You better call me. You better call me. And did you call me? You did.
I called you at like 3 a.m.
Something like that.
That night. We talked like forever.
Yeah. And then I saw you the next day and we went on our first official date. And I remember it was
another club, which is like so funny. I don't think we've been to a club since.
You also brought a friend of yours for protection, I think. And I think she was more dance clubby than you were.
Wow. Did she come the second time
Yeah,
too?
she came the second time.
Weird.
Talk about a third wheel. But I said, I gave her the time of dreamer. I'm hardcore. I'll take them both, and that's what I did. And but then I remember going on that second date. I'm like, I'm gonna really impress her here because I have a Jeep Wrangler that I got way back when. And I said, I'm gonna bust my Wrangler out. That's what I'm gonna do. She's gonna be like, oh my gosh, this guy's got a Jeep Wrangler, thinking this is like a Mercedes or something. But I remember I stored my Wrangler. Even back then, I stored it in the winter, and it was like cold winter time. But there was no snow. And I said, I spent the extra work to put the top on just to show, like, oh man, look at this guy. He's actually got a car. I didn't want to bring. I think I had a Grand Cherokee at the time. Was my everyday driver. And it was like 9 years old, 10 years old at the time. So still a nice vehicle. I wish I still had it. I love that vehicle. I love that 95 Grand Cherokee. Limited. Beautiful. And you were impressed. I said, look at this leather. It's not heated. It's not heated, but it's got leather seats. But the second night I said, I'm pulling out all the stops. Here's the Wrangler. And that's what I did. And then that's all it took. That was it. And you said, I'm staying forever.
Panty dropper.
I'm staying forever. That's what you said.
I don't even wear panties.
Yeah, that's false. I found that out too. But it was a wild time. It's still a wild time each and every single day. And Angie never said, but once again, we've said this before in the questions on things, didn't quite have this size of collection back then. I lived in a 1-bedroom apartment. And do you remember?
You had CDs.
I had CDs, but do you also remember the crazy thing about the apartment at the time?
No.
I had a twin bed, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh my God, did you really?
Yeah, and I had a little couch, but I also had a full-on weight room. Remember, because believe it or not, I used to work out very diligently, very hardcore. I was a big time lifter, cardio, all that kind of stuff all the time.
We got to find that one picture of you like kneeling in that apartment.
I'm sure I can find
put it in here because you won't even believe it's the same person.
And I used to like work out very hard, but I had a lot more free time then. I had more time. My work-life balance was different then. And I used to do 3 workouts a day for a while. But I had a full-on Olympic weight set with the bar and all that. I had all the free weights and like I had an exercise bike. I think I had an elliptical at the time. So this is a 1-bedroom apartment, 1 bedroom, 1 bath, and a living room and a little kitchen attached to the living room. So this little place. And Angie, our rent was $650.
Oh, beautiful.
And Angie had nowhere to really go. You know, she was bouncing around because she was deciding where she was going to go in life. And your work had severance because they put the jobs to like India or something like that. So you had severance money.
Yeah.
And you said, well, okay, where to go? You said, I'll be your roommate. So then I was like, good, because I was working. I was just out of college.
So random.
Yeah,
What do your parents mess with us?
I was just like straight out of college. And I didn't have it. And my dad said to me, like, I was planning on moving back home. And my dad said, Kyle, you'll figure it out. I already got you an apartment and I paid the first month's rent for you. After that, you'll figure it out. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I figured it out, though. I figured it out. But I got a job back at the grocery store while I started doing applications to try to get into the real working world. And it took a while to get a real job. I don't think I got a real job until to me about 8 months or something like that. Interview after interview, going through that. And it's just, I was a young guy, and it's funny. There's a real one of these days, maybe hopefully soon, I'll tell about a big full circle moment. And you don't even know this really, but if this happens, it'll be a very touching story. I think it'll be a touching story. It could be a lifetime movie one day. We'll see. And Angie has no idea. Maybe I'll fill you in. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll surprise you. But I was working at a grocery store. And then I had a buddy that worked at a cell phone store, and I got you that job over there. So then Angie started making more money. You rose to manager pretty quick over there. So Angie was the manager. I was working at a grocery store as I was trying to get a real job past that. And then I did. I came through.
Yeah,
I came through. I worked my way up the corporate ladder, major companies, and now Angie gets to enjoy all this. All this after so many years
But
of
now
blood
you're
sweat.
like, I'm done. Get back out there, girl.
Get back out, Angie. Back on
I'm
the
like,
streets.
I'm too old for this.
I said, I can't do it anymore, Angie.
Transition.
It's time for Angie to get back out there and earn her keep.
Start
And
selling my feet online.
that's if somebody knows how to sell feet, because we've talked about it. You've shown them a couple times. Angie's got amazing feet. Amazing feet. And I think she could do big job over there on the feet finders or something.
Oh my
So
God.
yeah, I don't know. Wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't that be just absolutely wild if Angie
Because I wouldn't have to put my face on the end.
yeah. What if Angie just like sold 1 foot picture a week on some like site or something, and it like was more than my salary and yours? Like that's like almost winning the lottery. But then it would get creative. Okay, we're sick of just regular feet. I want you to stick your foot in a cake. I want you to stick your foot in grass, and who knows where it would go from there. But Angie never had a problem with the collecting. At that time, I had a lot of CDs. I had a couple of figures here and there. I more admired from afar. it was probably a few years after that when the Jakks Classic Superstars started to hit. I started to dabble. The G.I. Joe 25th anniversary, and that's what pulled me back in. And the Masters Universe Classics, which I couldn't afford. I said, I can't do it. So I mired, and it snowballed from there. And then I started a YouTube channel where I was pretty hard into things, but obviously the YouTube channel ramped things up quite some bit.
Yeah.
And here we are.
And I didn't have anything. I've never been like a materialistic person. I never like carry anything around with me. Like,
you were like, if you guys have ever seen the Incredible Hulk show from like the 70s and 80s, like Bruce Banner just walking with the sad music, that was you. Just carrying a little knapsack on the back, and this is my life in this sack right here. Maybe not, but
just some clothes and some shoes.
But you're very adaptable, Angie, very adaptable. And this has went on way too long for this question. But find out more stories like this each and every week on The Kyle Peterson Show. Cheap plug right there. Angie, appreciate you coming around for this adventure here.
I love coming.
Yeah, me too. Me too. But here we are, Angie. We got things to do, people to see, targets to go to, and dinners to be eaten. So if you want to be the question of the week, put it in the comments down below. And of course, Angie, got anything left? Nothing. She's got nothing else for us. So it is time for the weekly purchases. All right, time for one supersized round of weekly purchases. A lot of stuff through the door this week, and a lot of stuff we've already taken a look at on the channel, so make sure you do subscribe. But we got the Subternia 4-pack. I already unboxed this on the channel, but looking very good. These are always fun sets. Always a lot of interest in these as well. Always love a little army builder action. We got that through the door this week. And we got a very controversial one here. It's the Fright Pit, Slime Pit, Choose Your Own Adventure. Already unboxed this on the channel as well. And yes, Todd McFarlane, I've still not opened the slime. I refuse to open up the slime. I talked about my hatred for the slime. I talked about how I don't like it. And people thought it was blasphemy that I would rather have plastic pieces for slime, like that would cover over the figure and make them look like they're in slime instead of actually using slime. Come on now, I'm an adult here, Todd. I'm not playing with slime. What are we doing around these parts here? But I get it. You like slime. Good for you. If you don't like slime like me, you don't want to deal with it. You don't want to have the cleanup. You don't want to mess with it. You don't want to get like hair or all of a sudden it falls on your dog or something. You don't want to deal with that. I understand that a little bit more, but choose your own adventure, as we always say. But we're not done with He-Man. A lot coming in. Thanks to our friends over there at jaystoysandgames.com. Saved myself 15%. Picked up my friend Keldor this week. Also picked up Webster Long. Yep, Webster Long. Mam and George can't be far behind. Picked that one up. Also picked up one of the most dangerous, Buzz-Off. He'll sting you. Watch out for him. Another Buzz-Off for the collection. Good to see that. And then a big boy. We got Whiplash, named after Metallica. Very true. Maybe he predates, maybe he doesn't. It's around the same time frame. Roll with it, Todd McFarlane. We got Whiplash. So we got a little 2000X love for the old He-Man this week through the door. You know I'm here for that. You know I love a little He-Man action. Also love a little Rhea Ripley action. How about that? Did pick up her greatest hits. I saw this over there at Jay's, and I compared it to the regular Elite, and guess what? This one has a different paint on the face. So I said, technically in my brain, it's a different figure. So I got another Rhea Ripley through the door this week as well. Hits keep on coming, Todd. We're turning over to you. We're going to Image Comics. One I've been waiting quite some time for. Saved myself 15%. Head over to Jay's once again. Savage Dragon in stock right now. Ooh, that's my 90s comic book loving Kyle. He loves a little of that. And then I was persuaded. I was on the fence, saw it in person. Picked up, of course, the Shadowhawk. Batman and Wolverine, if they had a kid, maybe it would be Shadowhawk, or maybe it wouldn't. Maybe it would be me. Who knows? Who knows? Picked those up this week. Not done, though. Russell Shop UK, I'm guilty again. Picked up the Undertaker right there. Also picked up Jesse, the Body, the Ventura, WWE Superstars, and Dusty Rhodes. Dusty Rhodes as well. And unfortunately, you can't just ship them all together. They have to do multiple packages. Other ones lost in the mail. Hopefully it arrives sometime this week. But I did get another package from them of another Jesse Ventura, which we'll unbox on the channel. Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream, if you will, through the door. And then we got the Undertaker as well again. So we'll do some more unboxings here on the channel. Got a lot of superstars to unbox. Still got to get around to Demolition. Still got to get around to Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Plus these. We'll get them on the channel. Stay tuned. We also got our friend Tommy Dreamer. Big Rubber Guy edition Tommy Dreamer. Unbox this on the channel. To the Land of Extreme, as we know there. And I also got a little special present in the mail this week. So I got to give a special shout out to Filthy Figures over there on Instagram. Give him a follow. But he heard me in my toy hunt videos. I've been looking for a loose Marty Jannetty when I go to Jay's and other places. hoping to track down a Marty Jannetty head for that future rocker so I can get 2 Shawn Michaels to put a Marty Jannetty head on. And he actually sent me a Marty Jannetty head for me to use, painted it up and everything else. Really appreciate that. So he sent that my way. And then he sent me a second bonus head. And I looked at it. I said, who is this? And at first I thought it was Tatanka. And it was a lot of the hair back there, that flat hair. But then I looked at it more and more. And I realized it was a dangerous individual. Some may say a murderer, Todd McFarlane. I think most would. My former favorite wrestler at one time, it is Chris Benoit. He sent me a Chris Benoit head as I knock into Jesse. Not sure what I'll do with that. I don't know. Do I do a Chris Benoit custom? Some people don't do Chris Benoit stuff. I have him on display with my Jakks collection just because he was part of it. But I try to remember the happier times if at all possible. But as we do know, it's pretty hard to look past that kind of stuff there. That's the way it goes, unfortunately. But appreciate Filthy Figures sending those my way. Very cool. Check him out on Instagram if you need a Marty Jannetty head. And a lot of us will need a little head from Marty Jannetty very, very soon. Last but not least, Hasbro Pulse comes through. Muse Bullseye 2-pack. I missed out originally. Those pesky meetings getting in the way. But I did get this one through the door. They did come back in stock, ordered it. We'll have that on the channel as well. So quite the week. A little bit of everything this week here. Some wrestling, some Marvel, some Image from McFarlane, some big rubber guys, Marvel Legends, Masters Universe, playing all the hits, one could say. But that is the weekly purchases. What did you pick up this week? What did you grab out there on the hunt? Let me know in the comments down below. And of course, while you're here, don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe to both my YouTube channels. Check out my Patreon, of course, and YouTube channel memberships. Plenty of content over there each and every single day. SirPaul64 on the X, _Kyle_Peterson on Threads, Instagram, TikTok, and The Kyle Peterson Show at gmail.com, which is the name of my podcast, The Kyle Peterson Show, each and every single Tuesday with my wife, Angie. Of course, we break it all down. We talk about all kinds of stuff. We tell the story this coming week, right now for Patreon members. Went to my kid's graduation, and a kid pulled a French fry out of a backpack, and you won't believe what happened next. You won't believe. Check out the podcast. You don't want to miss riveting stories like that. You can also check out a brand new Q&A on YouTube. My wife, Angie, breaking the internet once again, straight from the pool. And people get all worked up. I always say it. I always have to say, I am not forcing Angie to do this. I've put the disclaimer out there. She's her own woman, and she's a lot of woman, Todd. You've seen it. But straight from the pool. Of course, it's pool time season, and she doesn't care. And she's wearing her pool swimsuit. And people are like, oh my gosh. Well, go to the pool. You can see the same thing over there. And somebody said, Kyle, you run a children's channel. You hide your wife. And I said, the analytics show different. The analytics show it's not a children's channel. So it is what it is. It is what it is. But hopefully you enjoy the Q&A. Hopefully you enjoy the channel. Hopefully you enjoy life. How about that? We'll leave you with that one. Is that good? That's good, says Todd McFarlane. So we'll roll with that, of course. So check out the podcast. Available right now. New one coming, of course, each and every single Tuesday. So for another week of weekly purchases, you know what I'm doing. I'm rocking and rolling, strutting and strolling my way into another work week.
Well, are we gonna dance or are we gonna play?
For me.